Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Let's Talk News. And I'm Leticia Romero. And today we are going to discuss President Trump working with Tennessee Governor Bill Lee to make Memphis great again. And basically, we're going to talk, about just the crime stats in particular across the United States and this move that Trump is making, President Trump is making to actually put National Guard in all of the big cities to reduce the crime rate. And also, we can talk a little bit about his move to stop drugs from coming into the country by doing that ship blockade. So we've got a lot to talk about, and I see that we have a few people with us, and I'm hoping that you'll comment and let me know that you're here. I also want to know what you think of this daily format. 8 o'clock is as early as I can do it. I could certainly do it later, but I figure by 9 o'clock everybody's like chilled out, settled in, done with the news of the day. 8 o'clock, probably better off. But at the end of the day, I want to know what you think about this format. It works better for me, and I hope it works good for you. Uh, Better than being silent, right? So Debbie Lebedo is with us. Hello, Debbie. Good to have you here. And our OG, Lucille Chavone, and my OOG, my mom. Hello, how are you, Mom? And did I say Angela Rick? I think I did. But I can say her twice. She's worth it. Howard Zim, hola, how are you? And Ralph Rubinek, how are you, my friend? Well, it's good to have everybody back. Um, so, anyway, today Trump held a press conference, and he had the governor Bill Lee, and he had Kristi Noem, and he had Pam Bondi, and all the group with him to talk about what they're going to do in Memphis to try to reduce the crime in Memphis as they did in DC. I'm going to play a clip in a minute, but I'm letting everybody catch up. It's so good to see everybody back. Howard likes 7:30. Deb likes 8. So here's the thing, Howard. I have to feed myself and some other people in my family. And so 6:30 is usually dinner time. 7:30 would be pushing it for me. And I cook for everybody. So 8 o'clock is as soon as I can actually do it, unless you want to see what I look like after cooking a meal without makeup and my hair all up and covered in who knows what. Hello, how are you, Ramon? I'm in Brooklyn supporting a candidate running for borough president. God bless you, Ramon. God bless you for everything you do. And thank you so much for coming all the way out to Staten Island to pay respects for my aunt. Thanks to everybody. I understand my friend Gloria sent flowers. Thank you, everybody, for the well wishes and the condolences. It means a lot to my family. It meant a lot to her, and it certainly means a lot to my mom because that was her baby sister. Hello, Tammy. Good to have you here. Well, you're welcome, daughter, mother. Well, the other person that I have to cook for is my mom. I don't have to. I like to. That's the way I know that she's eating right. No problem. I'll try and come by a couple of days a week. You are the best, Howard Zim. And here's Mickey Petrides. Mom is doing really good. Stitches came out Thursday, walking better with a walker. That is fantastic news. And there you go. You heard it right here. In case any of you don't know, Mickey Petrides is the son of Michael Petrides, who on Staten Island, the Petrides School is named after. Mike Petrides was a mathematical genius, and he was instrumental, the driving force behind getting Rudy Giuliani elected as mayor. So Mickey is his youngest son. And I think no, that's wrong. I know he's not youngest, but he's one of his children. And Marlene is his wife. And it's always good to get reports that she's doing well. I have to thank you, Leticia, because I was inspired by you when you ran for Staten Island Borough President. So I'm willing to help in Brooklyn. God bless you, Ramon. You know what? You make a difference. Everybody who works and volunteers their time on campaigns makes a difference. So thank you for doing it. I hope I hope you get your candidate in. Who knows? This is a crazy, crazy election cycle. So let's see what's happening. I heard that Hochul endorsed Mondani yesterday, which is so amazing, right? Her Cuomo was who brought her in to the game, and she slaps him in the face and endorses Mamdani. Listen, I've said it before, how Cuomo handled COVID was an absolute sin, an absolute sin. Um, but they got him on salacious stuff, not on him sending patients back to the nursing home with COVID, uh, and that was the crazy thing to me. I hate the games that are being played in the political season. So, speaking of the games that are being played in political season, let me share my screen. Okay, I hope I can do this right. You're not going to see me, but you will see the screen. I pulled up statistics, crime statistics from some of the big cities in 2016 and in 2024. And I want you to read them along with me. Yes, she did, saying she supports his affordable living policy, more like communist policy nuts. Well, you know what? If she supports it, she, of all people, had the ability to do something about it. Let me just put it in a nutshell, really, really quick. So you have NYCHA, right, which is going down the tubes, and De Blasio was profiteering NYCHA, right? He was selling off land in NYCHA to or dangling that carrot in front of developers' noses to sell NYCHA property for luxury housing, right? So he did zero for affordable housing, everything for luxury housing. Now we have oh, what's it called now? Oh crap, I know. This whole rezoning plan for affordable housing in New York. I'll think of the name of it. Again, mostly not about affordable housing, mostly luxury housing. But what could have been done if Kathy Hochul, and she could have done this, and so could the legislature, taken NYCHA and put it under the Battery Park City Authority, an entity that understands how to build affordable housing alongside luxury housing, because very little known is that in Battery Park City, there are plenty of affordable housing options in Battery Park City. And it makes a profit every year, and it gives its money to New York City for the general budget. Bet you didn't know that. So if they would have disbanded the NYCHA board, and then taken that property and put it under the Battery Park City Authority, they could have done, as an authority, a better job of managing those properties, fixing them up, keeping them affordable. And instead of giving the money to the city, the excess money to the city every year, they could have rolled that Battery Park City money back into NYCHA to upgrade all the projects. And guess what? They wouldn't look like project anymore. They wouldn't be disgraceful anymore. And they'd be able to be brought into the 21st century. And it wouldn't cost anybody anything, because at the end of the day, the money that Battery Park City made would go for that. So Kathy Hochul wanted to do something. That's something I told her a while ago, and it could be done. And you can ask Sam, and you can ask any of your assembly members, your legislature friends, if that could happen. It absolutely could. I told her about it. She didn't listen. So don't tell me that she wants to build affordable housing. Hello, Colleen. How are you? You're going to have to try and get Albert on later in the week. His BFF, Jerome Powell, is supposed to cut interest rates this week. I'm going to try. He's got well, his job is keeping him busy. So I'll try. Anthony Reinhardt reached out to me to help Sleeper campaign at Richmond Road headquarters. Fantastic. With you there, I have hope. I have hope that he could win. She did nothing, and now this endorsement. Yeah, it's a ridiculous. Hello, Andrew Dorman. Good to have you. That's great idea, Letitia. I mean, I know it can happen. I worked there long enough to understand it, and I know it can happen. They are rezoning part of Long Island City for affordable housing, where AOC killed the Amazon factory deal. Yes, they are, and I'm very familiar with it. One New York, what that's called, one LIC, and the new zoning amendment is I'll think of the name of it. Oh my God, I got too much information in my head. Okay, all right, hearts. Okay, well, while I think about it, well, let's talk about the crime stats. Let's see if I can do this correctly. All righty then. Here we go. All right, share. All right. Let's see. What is it? There we go. Oh, can you read that? You probably can't read that crap. Let's see if I could do it a different way. All right. Well, I'm going to read it to you. All right. So in 2016, Memphis, Tennessee. In 2016, Memphis experienced an increase in its crime rate with 228 homicides investigated by the Memphis Police Department and a 4.7% increase in major violent crimes in the first half of the year compared to the previous year, according to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. The total increase in homicides from 2015 to 2016 was reportedly 67%. Okay, so 2016, the year before Trump. Now, Memphis, 2024. Memphis overall crime rate decreased in 2024 with significant drops in property crimes like car thefts and burglaries, while homicides decreased by a large percentage. Other violent crimes such as rape, manslaughter, and aggravated assault saw an increase. Despite these decreases, Memphis still had one of the highest violent crime rates in the nation. Okay, so I'm going to stop the share screen because I don't like the way it looked. You guys couldn't. Yeah, I froze. Okay. So Memphis, they're claiming a decrease, as is New York City, as is Chicago, as is Philadelphia. They're all DC. They're all saying that crime has decreased across every big city in the nation. But somewhere along the line, the cops started to play fuzzy math. And I don't know if it was the local cops. I don't know whose decision it was. Honestly, I'm suspect of it, but it went right across the board in all the big cities. And all of a sudden, they just all claimed that crime was going down when we all knew otherwise. In 2017, de Blasio claimed that New York City was the safest big city. And we knew firsthand by talking to cops, and why I say we, Nicole Maliotakis ran for mayor that year. And the cops all told us, it can't possibly be that crime is down. And, people might not be reporting it, or it might not be going through the system, but it certainly was up. But anyway, I want to make sure everything is good. Yeah, everything is good. I want to know what you think about this press conference today. I'm only going to play part of it because it went on for hours, as always. But anyway, listen to this clip of the Trump press conference, him speaking to Governor Lee about bringing the National Guard and others to Memphis.
It'll be one of your really proud moments, and you've done a good job too. But this will be maybe your proudest moment.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
and as the director said, the goal is sustained.
Right. Got to keep it.
Sustained crime lowering, and that with this effort, I believe we can get there. We can finally get there for that city.
Yep, we're going to have it sustained a long time. And your people are going to get better and better, and your police force has been terrific. They're working with us very much, as you know. We started it, as I said, on a little basis, and we got it down quite a bit, but now we go in for the big march, okay?
And Director Patel and his team have done remarkable work so far. As you know, the numbers are great, and this will be one more step in the right direction for Memphis.
That's true.
Thank you.
He's done a very good job. Thank you very much. Pam, please.
President Trump, at your directive, we went in, as you all know, to D.C. and took over the city of D.C., working hand in hand with Metro Transit Authority. All of the agencies represented here today got over 2,000 violent offenders, got over 200 guns off the streets of D.C., and D.C. is safe again. And now, Governor, working with you and working with our 2 U.S. senators and all of our agencies working hand in hand, we're going to do everything we can to make Memphis safe again. That was President Trump's directive to us, and it's easy to do when you're working with such great leaders. And Secretary Noem, you have been instrumental in this, and Director Patel has already been into Memphis and gotten so many violent offenders and guns off the street, and that's what started it. And working with Stephen and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, thank you. We've all been going nonstop, working hand in hand together, and Gadi Seralta, Terry Cole, and Director Driscoll of ATF wearing 2 hats, and Pete Hegseth with the National Guard, all working hand in hand and being out there for a month. You can't tell who's with what agency but for the T-shirt they're wearing, because everyone's working hand in hand, and that's why we've been so successful. We're going to do that in Memphis, and we're going to get crime off the streets.
That's great. Thank you, Pam. Great
Thanks,
job.
President.
Christy, go ahead.
Mr. President, Memphis has a high number of trafficking, significant human traffickers, child exploitation, drug trafficking. The local gangs there are extremely dangerous, and I'm so excited that you're going in there to work with not just the governor and willing local leaders, but also our attorney general and all the leaders that are standing here today to help protect our children. So what's going to change dramatically is the families' lives that live there, and it's only going to happen because of you, because you're coming in. What has started there, you're going to put on steroids. The networks that you're going to uncover across this country, because of the work that's going to happen in Memphis, we're going to see every city get safer, because we're going to see those ties to other criminals that we're going to get out of the country.
So trafficking, that's something that they don't even track in New York City. They don't track it in DC. That's how come we had so much drug trade in DC. And that's why we were finding so many gang members in Virginia, in Maryland. So this move by President Trump to utilize all of the resources that our taxes pay for federally to help fight crime in states. It's working. It makes sense. It makes sense to me. But of course, Democrats put it this way. I'm not going to say Democrats. The far left is talking about it being a authoritarian move, and that, we're giving up our rights. And I just wonder, didn't we give up our rights after 9/11? Didn't we have the National Guard in airports and all over the country during 9/11? Aren't we all subject now to search? Even if we don't want to be searched, then we can't ride an airplane. And how about during COVID? Wasn't the National Guard used to block businesses? Listen, when I got in trouble with my comments, it was because we were fighting that the Department of Finance had their police out in front of a bar restaurant who they shut down. How about those poor guys in New Jersey, the gym? They stopped being gym owners and started being activists because the government came in and shut them down and wouldn't let them operate. And it seemed like certain entities could operate, but not all. And it was not fair. So I don't know. To me, there have been enough times in history when we have used the National Guard for things that were good, such as when we had integration, when busing started, and the governors didn't want to let Black children go to school, and we called out the National Guard to escort them to school. So, I don't think that the lunatic left actually has a leg to stand on in their commentary about this being a fascist move. They decriminalized armed robbery in New York City, so unless you get physically shot, it's not a crime. That brings down stats. Well, that's a good point. They also rape, and kidnapping and child battery of children. All those crimes were reduced, and I can't even imagine why. Very good work. Thank you, Andrew Dorman. I think you mean the police department. Yes, the one in authority is moving in to save these cities. Finally. Is that what you voted for? That's what I voted for. And certainly, I feel like I pay a ton of money in taxes every single year. And here in South Carolina, we get our money's worth. As a matter of fact, we have a surplus. They're redoing all the roads. It's amazing. And we have senior discounts. And you know what my property taxes were last year? $400. $400 compared to the 12,000 I was paying in New York. $400. And the services I get here are remarkable. I mean, every restaurant, every establishment offers a senior discount, military discount. They're, it's just amazing. And tourism is a big industry where I live. But they give it back to the residents. It's just amazing. Illicit narcotics is the bane upon the Western world. Every category of violent crime is narcotic related. Yeah, and we spend trillions of dollars each year fighting the drug cartels, right? Supposedly. But are we really? Are we really? We need safe cities to be prosperous. Yeah, we need safe cities. Absolutely. I mean, that's bellworthy. That's bellworthy. I saw a meme the other day. It's probably going a little outside of what we were talking about. And it was a young lady in school, and she asked the teacher if they were going to be able to learn about math and doing income taxes. And the teacher said, no, we're going to learn that some boys can be moms, can have babies, or some stuff like that. And it really hit home because there was a time when we learned those things. I remember home ec in shop, and I remember learning to do my taxes, balance my checkbook. I remember on Wednesdays we had bank account day, school savings, where we would all bring in $1 or $2 and it would go in our bank books. I don't know who handled that program, but it was fantastic. Why can't we do this anymore? Yes, Max Public House was banned and the restaurant across the street was open due to the COVID color schedule. No rights there. Yeah, I mean, we've been using the National Guard for things for years, but I guess if the lefties, if it's what they want to promote, then it's okay. If it is crime and safety, for some reason, that's not okay. Definitely use the National Guard. Good. I agree. And protesters against illegals were arrested for playing God Bless America while the illegals were protected on Staten Island. Yeah, that's right. They took that lady's, she was on her own property and they arrested her. I just don't understand. My state has a surplus to taxes $850 for 2.5 acres. Yeah, think about that. It's crazy. We did budgets in home ec. Just had this conversation yesterday about trades in home ec. Do you remember? Look for the union label. There were national commercials to get people to buy American, to buy union, to keep America strong. It was a really big thing. We all knew that song. Look for the union label. La, la, la. I don't remember all the words, and I shouldn't sing it because I'll get probably a strike for copyright. But that was the kind of stuff that was on TV. The kids knew that stuff. We all grew up with it. We knew it because why did it happen? Because we needed a stronger America. That was before Helen Gurley Brown and everyone pushed women into the workplace and took them away from their children. I mean, it's no wonder that women don't want to have children right now because they can't stay home to take care of them and they don't want somebody else raising them. So, but that's what we've become. And we accepted it, right? Our taxes, the government loved the idea of women working outside the home because if the women worked outside the home, it was more money to Washington, to the state, so that they could spend it the way they wanted on their pet projects and not on the things that made us a better country. When you are buying a car, truck, or van. Right. That's right. Security setbacks of 9/11 caused an intense security change with the same kind of laxness during COVID-19 pandemic. You're absolutely right, Andrew. Absolutely. When terrorists blew up, the Pentagon, the World Trade Center, and tried to blow up the Capitol, but for those wonderful, heroic people in Pennsylvania who took the plane down, who paid for it? Who paid for it? The American people paid for it. We all paid for it. Now we had to, there was certain checks that you had to do, or certain things you had to do if you wanted to fly. Take off your shoes. You'll go to the airport much earlier because you had to be scanned. And we all said okay. We said okay because we didn't want to see another incident of that happening. But you know what we should have said? No, we should have said, no, close the borders. Don't allow people in. But you know what? We're like, we just take it. We just take it. And it's like, if you smack them and they accept it without turning on you, smack them again. And that's kind of what the government did, is that they realized they can get us to become a bunch of chumps, and they could just abuse the hell out of us to push forward their agenda. And we should have never done it. After 9/11, we should have said, no, you federal government, you tighten up those borders. Do not let people in this country without knowing who they are. You're the ones who have to protect us, because that's the first job of any government, is to protect its citizens. Maybe off topic, Letitia, but allowing Bernie Sanders into our government opened the door for all the others, and they are the radical left. This didn't happen overnight. You're right. But, when you say allowing Bernie Sanders, I mean, people elected him. The problem is that there was so much money from Hollywood and other entities on the left. I mean, Hillary Clinton, the amount of money that she took in her not-for-profit organization from foreign entities that made its way into America, and left-wing politics is amazing to me. Parent-teacher, PTA, parents get more involved. You can work and be involved. Lucille, I think that COVID showed a lot of parents a lot of things, and I think that's what started to change our minds. We can once again leave our shoes on at airports. Oh, yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, government, for letting us leave our shoes on, because one guy had an explosive in his shoe. Now everybody had to take their shoes off. Again, why are we being punished? Government, do your fucking job. Do your job. Stop illegals from coming. Stop people who hate America from coming to America. No, they didn't do that. You know what they did? They just opened the floodgates, and now we have a whole situation in Minnesota, right, where we have what's her name, Rashida Tlaib, and then we have Ilhan Omar. I mean, we are in trouble. We are in trouble because we are going to be destroyed from the inside, and we're seeing it. We're absolutely seeing it. I just don't understand. If you're a socialist, how can you run? Free country will be free no more. I don't get it. Because, okay, think about it. What did Hitler do? Hitler promised that he would make things affordable and get food and shelter and other things to the common man, because at the time, remember, before World War I, there were czars and emperors all over the place, right? And they were all related to one another. England and Russia and France and Germany, they were all cousins. They were all cousins. So that's what Hitler promised. He promised that the working person would get a fair shake, and that's how he got in. What did Castro promise? The same exact thing. If you go back and look at some clips, Castro was on, he was on a couple of shows, but Ed Sullivan was one of the guys that actually interviewed him, and he was talking about the regular people getting more because they were under a fascist regime. So he promised them that they would all share in the wealth of Cuba. Well, he turned into a fascist himself, and it never happened, which is what happens with socialism. Look at Maduro in Venezuela, same freaking thing. I mean, in the 70s, my husband went on a cruise to Caracas. They were all in the streets with guns, and it was an authoritarian regime. Well, Maduro got in promising to support the working man, and look at where Venezuela is. It's just as bad as it was back in the 70s. So the promise is always that we are going to give you your fair share. The bad rich guys, right? It's always about the bad rich people who are taking advantage of you. And these people with some charisma come in and promise you everything, and is all they deliver is worse than what you already have. Um, COVID was the beginning of the Great Awakening. You're right. You're right. But it was also the beginning of the useful idiots getting in line and showing themselves. Indeed, government must do their job. They have to. Why is North Korea called a democratic state? Why is North Korea? I don't know. Bernie has 3 houses. They all do. They're all rich. Look at AOC. She's rich. Millions. All right. Look at all of them. They are the big bad guys. Hillary, all the people, all the Democrats that have promised us, or the working people that I'm sorry to talk with my hands because it goes in front of the screen. All the Democrats that have throughout time promised the working people that they would have their backs have just made it more difficult for working people to survive. They don't even support the unions anymore. Now with all the illegal migrants in, they're taking jobs from, union shops. Union shops, their companies are opening two shops, right? In New York and everywhere else. Union shops and non-union shops. And they're hiring the illegals in the non-union shops. And now government contracts are that they don't have to be union necessarily. They just have to pay fair wages. Used to be that you couldn't get a government contract unless you were union. So what's happening now is that the union shops are not getting the contracts. And also they're not getting the people. It's just not working. So we've got a problem. And it started a while ago, and we were asleep. All of us, we were asleep at the wheel, and now we are paying the consequences. And if New York City goes for Mamdani, I think it's the beginning of the end. Democratic People's Republic of Korea, commonly known as North Korea, is a highly centralized totalitarian state led by Kim Jong-un. In 2025, the country remains highly isolated, and its leadership has intensified repression. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know who calls a democratic state. Trump took out another drug boat today. Did we talk about this already? The screen froze for a while. Was it? Sorry about that. I don't know what the hell is going on. The state is beautiful. The internet sucks. Yeah, he took out another drug boat today. And that's the whole thing. He's taken out the drug boats by the water. And now he's talking about having the military by land. And we know already that on the Mexican side of our border, they have our own military weapons pointed at us. They bought them from and they got to the cartels and the black market. So there is save democracy. No, we're a republic. We don't want democracies. Democracies don't work. Democracy is a socialism. So anyway, I think we all agree the government is doing what it's supposed to do right now, which is protecting its citizens. That's the first step. We have to feel safe in our country. We have to be safe in our country. We have to stop this senseless murder, rape, drunk driving that is of these illegal aliens who come from countries where you can drive drunk, where you can rape women. We have kidnappings, we have sex slaves, we have women being sold into bondage, kidnapped in America. And we have people from other countries, women and children from other countries being brought in and being trafficked here in America. So American women are being kidnapped, raped, killed, and we're bringing in other women who have been killed and raped and kidnapped from other countries. I'm not killed, but raped and kidnapped from other countries, and we're bringing them here so that they could be used. And nobody's saying anything about it. How come we don't hear anything from Helen Gurley Brown about this? And we never do we? So I, for one, think that what Trump is doing is fantastic, and I look forward to seeing how this all plays out. I mean, this is a brilliant freaking first year, except for the death of Charlie Kirk. I'm okay with special ops taking out the cartels. Me too. I'm okay with special ops doing whatever has to be done. If I was okay giving up my rights to get on an airplane, giving up my rights to have the government spy on me after 9/11, I'm really okay with having, special ops in my streets to protect me. But I will never give up my gun, right? Because that's the next thing. If we didn't have guns, that would be a problem. And I'm really concerned, right? Because we have to make sure that 2A stays strong. Because now that Trump has set the precedent of doing this, if we ever get a Democrat president and they somehow overturn 2A and have made it okay to have special forces in our streets, and we don't have the ability to fight them, that's when you have a problem. So I'm okay with special forces being in my street as long as I have my gun and plenty of ammunition. All right, so I think that's all for tonight. We're over. We got our rights taken away. We had no choice. You're right. You're right. Okay, so Wednesday, just want to remind everybody, Wednesday, Michelle Eskenazi will be here, and we're going to talk about the stabbing on the Charlotte train. And bail reform and what it has done to destroy our country. So let's see what news we have tomorrow. Obviously the Charlie Kirk murder has been topic number one in the news, but so much else has been going on. So we'll see what the headline is tomorrow. I think it is going to be both Charlie Kirk and Trump and this initiative, especially with the drug cartels. So let's see what happens. And I don't know if we talked about it. Maybe we'll talk about the boats off of Venezuela. That's we got some interesting stuff going on there. Okay, well, see you tomorrow night, 8:00. Thank you all for tuning in, and see you tomorrow. Let's talk news. Bye, everybody.